Vandalism to an Air Force cairn in Victoria is worse than first thought, and there are questions as to whether the monument can be fully restored. The cairn is dedicated to Air Force members who served in the First and Second World War, Korean conflict, Cold War and peacekeeping activities around the world. Bruce Kirkpatrick reports.
A veteran looks at damage at an RCAF memorial in Pioneer Square next to Christchurch Cathedral, and Don Hepburn wonders why.
What would motivate somebody to do something that horrible? And maybe they're mad at their parents, maybe they're mad at war. I never met a veteran in my whole entire life, and I flew with a lot of them, that thought war was fun. And I don't know what would motivate them.
This is how the cairn looked before it was scrubbed down and sprayed with a power washer. It's cleaner now, but still marked, and the scars in the porous rock may be so deep they can't be fully removed.
One of the options at least would be to have it sandblasted. With the grey granite being unpolished, any paint tends to bleed into the stone, so there's not too much that will really pull the stain out of the granite.
A 19-year-old Victoria man has been arrested in connection with the vandalism to the cairn and possibly vandalism to a children's grave next door bearing the names of Edward and Mary Cridge, dated 1864, 1865, and 4 children.
We bagged the poppies, 100 in a bag.
Remembrance Day is later this week, and those who distribute 200,000 poppies in Victoria are incensed, as are people at Royal Canadian Legions everywhere.
Don't they ever stop and think of the sacrifice that was somebody went through to give them that right?
It's disgraceful. It's by people who have nothing and don't respect themselves or anybody else.
Our young men, Canadians, British, went out there and fought a war to protect us. And we treat things like that. It makes me bloody want to cry.
Those who serve our country today are also wondering why someone would deface a memorial in children's grave.
They have to think of it as their personal family or their next of kin, and if they're willing to do that to their family, then I think that's disrespectful all around.
Canada's Veterans Affairs Minister Stephen Blaney has said this week mischief on the site of war memorials could soon land the offending vandals in jail.
And that leads us into our checkpoint question today. Do you plan to attend Remembrance Day ceremonies this year? There are several ways you can contact us. You can do it on Twitter, on Facebook, or Checkpoint. And if you're interested in participating in our Checkpoint poll today, go to our website, checknews.ca, and cast your vote as to whether you will be at Friday's Remembrance Day ceremonies around Vancouver Island. Here's what you had to say.
I will be there. I am, in fact, going to represent the Aircrew Association of Vancouver Island and making a presentation of our remembrance wreath at the cenotaph.
I just feel like it's important to honor people that have dedicated their lives to the service of the country and to definitely remember the sacrifices made by people during the World Wars I and II.
Why is it important, you think, to remember?
I'm not sure it's important.
Well, that's interesting. And why is that?
Because sometimes you need to leave things behind. It's over. With all respect and love and appreciation, just to move on, kind of.
We have wars going on right now and young people dying. And it's not just about remembering the past soldiers. I think it's about remembering the soldiers now going out and also for the families.
So you have to think of the family and the people that have passed and for what they have done for our country and are still continuing to do for our country. And it's a wonderful service, and yes, we should support them all the time, not just on one special day.
All right, here's the answer to here's what you said on our web poll by logging on to checknews.ca. Now, these are actually reverse numbers. So on our web poll, 56.5% of you said you actually would attend a Remembrance Day ceremony on Friday, and 43.5% of you said no, you would not. So those numbers much closer than the folks that we chatted to on the streets of Victoria today. And that is tonight's Checkpoint.